Hello and welcome to Elizabeth's Craft Room. Today I'm going to show you a project and I'm going to give you another little sneak peek. Here's the sneak peek, is this beautiful embossing folder. It's going to be one of the things that you can choose for free during Celebration, and I just absolutely adore it. It's called Vine Street and you're going to love it too. Now, I can't show you in action today, but I can show you a project that's very similar to this, so that's what we're going to make today. So we'll get the big shot, and we're going to start off by cutting from the Apothecary Accents, this framelit shape here, and I'm going to cut that in Naturals Ivory. You need 3 altogether, just cutting one right now, but I've done another 2. So I shall just run that through. Okay. And so there's our shape. We're going to dispense with tab 2 now, because we're now going to do some embossing. And we're going to emboss this time with the vintage wallpaper. And what I'm going to do, if you can, I don't know how well you can see this, but there's this little circle here. I'm going to line that up with the bottom of my tab here, because that'll look very pretty once they're all lined up together like that. And I'm just going to run that through the big shop. So that's just on tab 1. And you get, let's see if I can get this, there we go, this lovely embossed effect, and we get that circle right in the bottom, which is what we were aiming for. Okay, next I'm going to do some more cutting, and this time I'm using the Blossom Party Originals die, and we're just going to use a couple of these 2 flowers here. Now, I'm going to run that through. It's a big die, so it just needs the plates. So I'm just going to run that through and cut those 2 flowers out. And we have the daisy and then a small daisy as well, and I'm going to use both of those. Once again, we are going to need 3 altogether of those, but I'm just showing you just one at the moment. So back to our platform with tab 1, and we're going to run the flower through with the Perfect Polka Dots folder, and I'm just separating those out. I'm going to run those through also on tab 1. So again, we're going to get a little bit of texture onto the flowers. Okay, so we're all done with the big shot. I'll move that out of the way. So with the pieces that we've just cut, a couple of things to do. The first one, as you can see on my original card there, we want these to be cut off and made as sort of tab shapes. So I'm going to take off the opposite end to the one where we got the circle so nicely lined up. So we're just going to trim that off. And then with the soft suede ink and a sponge, I'm going to sponge all over there, and this just really makes that deep embossing pop, as you can see. And we're going to do exactly the same with the flowers. Pop that ink all over them. Now these I'm going to glue together. So put a little bit of Tombow in the middle. And then to add some embellishment, I want to use these crystal buttons. You can see how many I've used. This is how many I have left. And what I'm going to do with these is just pop those. I'm just using sorry, I'll do that in front of the camera. I'm just going to pick up a a glue dot. Pop that in the middle of the flower, and that's the best way to attach these faceted buttons. Okay, and then I just want some gems, and I'm also going to use the scissors to pick one of those up and place that right on the top of the button. So you can see that's just given that some real sparkle. Okay. So the card stock that we're using is Cherry Cobbler, my favourite colour, and that's half a sheet of A4 folded in half, scored at 10.5 centimetres and folded in half to make a standard card. And then we're going to lay out, so here are the other two that I did earlier, so we're going to lay out 3 of these panels on here. Now I'm just going to put some glue vaguely in the right place, and the easiest way to do it, people do this in a different way, but for me the easiest way to do it is to line up the 2 edge pieces, which you can line up to the edge and make sure that they are even each side there, and then put the middle one in, making sure you're even in between. That's what works for me. Okay, you could measure, but I just like to kind of eyeball it. Okay, now we're going to put on our flowers, and here's my other 2 that I did earlier, and we're going to do these with dimensionals. So I did one with the largest faceted button. I'm going to put that. Now you could put these completely lined up, but I quite liked them slightly offset rather than trying to line them up perfectly sort of centrally on each panel. But it's entirely up to you how you like that to look. And then I'm going to use the Victoria Crochet ribbon, which is just so gorgeous with these colours. Just gives such a beautiful sort of vintage look. And I'm going to tie that just in a knot at the end. If you're more handy with bows than me, you could do a bow, but it's quite bulky and I think I would prefer just to have a knot on mine. And then just trim that off. There we go. And if you want to do some little finishing touches, you might like to add some bling down at the bottom. I did my other example with pearls, but this one I'll just put some little diamantes. These are the basic rhinestones. And there we go. And there was my original. So I hope you've enjoyed your visit to Elizabeth's Craft Room. Come again soon.